my tip for your bait. Cut it up while it's frozen. I'll break into a variety of sizes. I like to just cut it up in decent little sideways chunks. I don't cut it up into strips. It'll cut a lot easier, even if it doesn't seem like it. When it's thawed, it'll be all squishy and it'll be hard to cut into even pieces. You'll have to hold it. Also, this way I can use gloves to do the majority of my bait cutting and just get it done with. Using the leftover gloves from the dialysis clinic, figured rather than just throwing them away, put them to some use. I'm gonna give myself some pretty big chunks overall because I find that that works better for decent sized rockfish. We're not going for perch here. That'll be pretty good for now. Can always cut it down more later. The other tip is get some crappy little knife. Don't use your fillet knife. You'll regret it later. All right. Let's just bait this thing up before we get that last glove off. And we'll go do my first cast. Maybe today will be the day I get a fish on first cast. It's a little hard to bait up at first when it's frozen, but it'll thaw quick. Thaw much quicker cut up too. Oh, it is a lot harder frozen. It'll thaw out fast enough. Call this the cable spot. Whoop. And the trench is a little treacherous at the cable spot. Good way to twist an ankle if you're not careful. So there's some long period swell, as I said earlier. So we're gonna be staying up on this shelf and keeping an eye out as tide comes up. I'm not gonna stay in any one place for very long today, or at least I'm gonna try not to.
I did go to 2 other spots, but I didn't catch anything, so I'm not gonna show that footage.
So which way do we cast first? Yeah, get the camera and all the gear off. I'll try and get back into photography a little bit more. Photography was really good for me when I had saltwater fish tank and when I first got on dialysis. It was one of the first things that I picked up new, kind of specifically to deal with my depression. I was starting to go blind. I was really lucky I didn't go blind with my blood pressure when I first got on dialysis. And somebody asked me how I got down here. Yeah, photography. I was going blind, and so when I got out, it was the hospital. It was nice like today, and so it really helped my mental health. And that was a shit cast. What was that? All right, let's pay attention to now. That's the whole point. Not pay attention to my mental health. I was a little better. I was way offline though. I've been out here for a little while. My line's a little weirded. I need to get that reset a little better. All right, first cast out there. I'm gonna go set up some plastics on the other rod. I would really like to catch a fish on a swim bait. I've never caught anything on a swim bait. As well as that's how I'm gonna catch a lingcod. So we're gonna set up this rod. It took like 3 feet or so like that from water the other day that wasn't just a fish. Yeah, that was just water. Or at least unless something was tugging at it and didn't take the hook, which is always possible, but I wouldn't really know. All right, no fish on first cast, number 2. I was way in the rocks, I don't know. No, I was just in the rocks. Thought that maybe I had a fish because there was so much resistance in the rocks. But oh no, I do have a little fish. Probably a tiny greenling. Hopefully it didn't gut hook it. Oh, maybe it's not a tiny, but that's a weird twisted up hook, and I lost the weight on it. That's close. It's right at 12. I am tossing it back once I can figure out how to get this hook out. All right. I'm kind of glad it didn't gut hook it. All right. I think this marks my second release. This guy's a little floppy. I hope he's all right.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should just go straight to that right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not very far between the right and the left there.
Until you get down and look at it.
That's like, what I was saying when you were like, oh, it's going to be a heavy paddle out. I'm like, nah, it's not nearly as far as you think. I mean, it's totally a novelty wave.
Yes. Yeah, dude, that's one of my, I've been gravy all the way, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ben's the reason that or not the reason, but a large part of the reason that I started a YouTube channel.
Ben's the reason I got that board.
Like, just try to get that progression.
Oh yeah, that little right looks like this. It looks like a
Not too often you get to walk across this beach with a board either.
I know, man. First time ever. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Yeah. That's got to be the best wave I've ever seen in Portuguese.
Well, let's go catch it.
Hopefully, yeah.